Ladies and gentlemen, American Jury and Bulldog Nation, at the title of this show, I actually used exclamation points. And I don't mean to shout in that title, but I want to emphasize the significance of it. We have to protect our children against everything. You know, I'd like to use a biblical reference on this, which you've all heard countless times, is that Jesus teaches in the Bible, and remember, we are a Christian nation, teaches in the Bible that it is better for someone to have a millstone put around their neck and thrown in the ocean than to harm a child. And the number one job of every single parent, I've been a parent, you've probably been a parent, you know parents. If you haven't been a parent, you know parents. The number one job of a parent is to protect their children against everything that can harm that child. Everything. You name it. It's a long list. Going through life from a toddler, from an infant baby to a toddler, all the way up to adulthood. It's the number one responsibility. We have to protect our children from everything. And in today's society, unfortunately, one of the things that we have to protect our children from is the destruction of their innocence. There is nothing more precious than the innocence of a child. What am I talking about? Well, here's what I'm talking about. Florida passes a law that says teachers cannot be discussing with children from kindergarten through the third grade gender identity and sexual orientation. Makes sense to me. I ask you this, what business does any teacher have speaking to grade school aged children about gender and sexual orientation? They need to leave the children alone and focus on educating that child. Now, we all know that if there's some violence going on in a child's home, that teacher can assist the authorities relative to that. But it is incredible to me that we have to pass laws to protect. Now, here is what the far left, Joe Biden and the rest of them, will say. Andy Bashir, too. They will say, well, we have to protect the transgender children, the gay kids, and blah, blah, blah. You know, folks, the percentage of children who have any even close issue relative to sexual orientation and gender identity is slim to none, and slim left town. So to expose all the children, to this junk is extraordinary to me. And we should not tolerate it any way, shape, or form. Then we have the issue of sports. You have to be some kind of nitwit not to say to yourself, why the hell should we let biological men and boys compete in female sports? The American Communist 10 is that woke that the NCAA and anybody and high school sports would even mess around with this. Same thing with the bathrooms. It is absurd to allow a biological male in a female bathroom and vice versa. It is the sexification of this country. And by the way, I'm somebody who believes that two consenting adults, they're not bothering you and me. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about kids, children. Finally, on this issue, I want you to know that the idea of pedophilia which is rampant because of the sexification in this country. Pedophilia in this country is sick. And there should be the harshest possible penalties for this. Why? Because they destroy a child. If you're a victim of pedophilia, your life's over. Your life's never going to be the same. That destruction of the innocence. And I'm going to be the only candidate running for Kentucky governor who says there needs to be a system in place, a guide and a standard in place that under certain circumstances, the death penalty needs to be in play. Have to sort through what that is. But if you're somebody who destroys a young child's life through sexual deviancy, man, oh man, oh man. I encourage everybody to check out the upcoming Freedom File that Wesley Deters has done, because she really focuses in on this issue as well. But ladies and gentlemen, the American Jury and Bulldog Nation, we must protect our children. And nobody who will ever sit in the governor's office will protect our children more than me. Your child, all of our children, will have somebody sitting in that governor's chair that will fight like hell to protect them and punish those who harm them. This is the Bulldog. Every dog has their day. Have a great day.